to have conversations with people. You immediately start to have conversations. And then you want to start networking and doing the same thing with people of influence. They may be outside of your industry, but like I said, Rick Myers, he's a blogger. He's not in my industry directly, but I just started having conversation because he had some very cool things to show. I don't even remember what it was anymore, but it was very cool. I mean, he's a very smart guy. He has, like I said, one of the most successful blogs in the world. And we started this dialogue, and eventually after months, it turned into actual, like, a relationship, like, not just over Twitter. We've done business together. And those are the kind of things that can happen. And not only that, but once you start to create these relationships, when you have something cool to say, when you have something nice to share, these people that have now been paying attention to you, guess what they're going to do? If you have something of value, can't just say like, hey, I have stuff to sell, nobody's going to retweet that, nobody cares. But if you have something of value, you create a blog post, you create a video, whatever it may be, even just like something that's interesting or that's fun or that makes sense, even if it's silly, just to keep the conversations going, whatever it may be, they're going to then share that with their community. So you may have 1,000 Twitter followers, but if you have a lot of industry leaders and a lot of people with influence, and you've created solid relationships with them, and they like what you're doing, and they connect with you, and now you say something, and they send it out, you get 10 people to send it out, you could have millions of people potentially looking at you. And that's what social media is about. It's not about doing sales. People, and there's so many websites and stuff that's like, oh, here's how to convert sales on Twitter and Facebook. It's all bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. I'm not going to lie to you. It's absolute garbage. You want to try to sell on Twitter? Don't even bother starting the account. Here's a perfect example. This guy here, Gary Vaynerchuk, and I put his Twitter symbol in there for you guys. He has, I think now, I checked last night just out of curiosity, I think he's like nearly 1 million or over 1 million followers or something ridiculous. You know what this guy did? He sold wine in New Jersey. He sold wine in New Jersey. Think about that for a second. He sold wine in New Jersey. The guy's got nearly 1 million Twitter followers. His blog is like the #1 rated one in the world. You know why? And he started this before Twitter and Facebook and everything were popular because he saw what was coming. He knew it was happening. And he said, oh, I got to be a part of this. He just started putting up videos talking about wine. He didn't say, hey, I'm Gary Vaynerchuk and this wine is really delicious. And at the very end, hey, come to my website, you can buy it. He didn't say that. He just reviewed wine, whether he sold it or not. This was really good. Here's what I liked about it. This was delicious, blah, blah, blah. End. No sale. No sale. He started doing that. People started to pay attention because his content had value. And that's the other step. Content is king. Content is absolutely above and beyond all the best thing that you can do. And this applies to every aspect, but especially in social media. The better your content, the more people are going to care. You can talk about, you can talk about how awesome your business is doing all day long, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. There's 1 million of that. You're at the cocktail party. Great. So that's this guy again talking about how awesome his business is. Guess what they do? As soon as you turn around, they're like, geez, get rid of that guy. It's the same thing on Twitter, except this time they can go unfollow. Social media, Twitter and Facebook really are word of mouth. It's the exact same thing as word of mouth, except it's digital and a hell of a lot faster and bigger. It's not you walking into a cocktail reception with 100 people. It's you walking out there putting yourself in front of potentially millions of people globally. And like I said earlier, just to kind of backtrack, you can reach people globally now. It doesn't matter what service or product you have. You can do business with anybody anywhere. And you can figure out how, even if you're not doing it now. That stuff's very simple. There's companies that take care of all that stuff for you, the logistics portion, if you're selling a product. So anyway, so that kind of goes back. So you got to have really good content, stuff that's interesting, especially people in your industry. Because you want people that are interested or that are in your industry to listen to you. If they're not in your industry, like, great, certainly. There's going to be relationships that you want to create like that. But you want people that are going to potentially talk about you and your product. So Gary Vaynerchuk, like he said, he did for years. He put up these videos. He just talked about wine, and eventually people were very interested. He was talking about things that no one else was talking about, and he wasn't selling anything. So people could freely go on here, look at this, learn something, feel good, and go, wow, that guy's pretty cool. Because once again, once you go back to the customer service, nobody does it anymore. People are so used to just buying whatever product because they've done their, quote, research, and they sell it down to you, and that's it. And as you call that 800 number on the back, it gets outsourced to India, and they only have 7 questions that they can answer. God forbid you go beyond those 7 questions. They're like, I don't know, sir. Let me transfer you to Sally. So that's, that's kind of where it's come today. So if you're giving stuff away for free, like Gary Vaynerchuk, he did these videos, and you don't have to do a video, but you can, because technology's there. This isn't 10 years ago. You get a webcam for $20 at Best Buy. You sit there and you talk about your industry. You don't talk about it from you. You don't say, I'm doing this, we're doing this. Say, listen, this is what's changing. Here's a good tip. This is a way to do this. This is what will be very good and helpful for you, period, no sale. You can do that in blog format. Everyone should create a blog. If you're going to start doing social media, blog should be your home. A blog should be your home. You create a blog, you go to wordpress.org or wordpress.com. The only difference is, and actually this I want to touch on briefly, is wordpress.org. The difference between wordpress.org and .com is by the same people. WordPress.org is, it's all the tools, it's free for you to put on your own web server. So if you have a hosting service, create your own website or a part of your own website. That's actually the better way to do it. Just because, if you think about it this way, you can go to WordPress.com and they'll host it for free for you. You can just type in your name and password and just blog right from their website. But here's the thing. God forbid something ever happens to WordPress, or you say something they don't like or whatever, they can legally take it down. Or their site could get closed down. You just take the software and you install it on your own web server, just like a normal website would be, and you own it. It's your property. It's freeware, so you can use it however you want, and nobody can take that down. You own that web domain, you own that website. That's the best way to do it. But if you want to just start, you can do it through WordPress.com. It's absolutely the best. There's other ones out there, maybe you like them, but WordPress.com is absolutely the easiest, the best, the fastest, and has the most tools. And there's so many tutorials. You can learn this thing in 30 minutes and get it up and running. And like I said, just call a college kid at the local college and say, listen, can you help me? They'll do it in 2 seconds. They know the stuff off the back of their head.
And it syndicates for you.
Exactly, and it syndicates for you. Syndication means you post something on your blog, you can set it up to where it'll automatically go to your Twitter, it'll automatically go to your Facebook page. It'll say, the first couple of lines of what the blog post is, and say, 20-word EP, you wrote this about whatever it is, here's the link, and they go to your blog. And that's where it all comes back to. You want to use the social media tools. Okay, so you've created this blog, you're putting up this cool content, you're putting up either video or pictures or how-tos, or just blog posts writing about whatever it is in your industry. You can have people help you with this, you can have people that work for you help you with this kind of stuff, but just make sure it's honest and it's good content and it's something that people would truly be interested about. So if you're going to just waste your time putting things on there, either selling or you're going to waste your time putting things on there that just aren't interesting or valuable to anyone else, just don't waste your time. Because social media does take up a lot of time in the day. But it's worth it if you can do it correctly. So, so really the tips are you want to create your blog, use that as your social media home. And here's why you want to use it as your home base. The blog is because once it syndicates this content, you figure out how to do that, which is super easy. It's also a little plug-in. It's not hard at all. It's all automated through WordPress. Or you can do it yourself and post these things. People see your Twitter, they click on the link, they go to your blog. Well, guess what? On your blog, you have an about you, what you do, where your company is, how it works. And this is how people get to know you. So Gary Vaynerchuk started just talking about wine, but then they said, oh, what does this guy do? Oh, he sells wine in New Jersey. Well, guess where wine sales started to go up? Because people are like, A, I trust this guy. B, he's a nice dude, and he's giving me all this free information. Guess what? I got all this stuff for free. I feel like I should buy my wine from him. And he never, ever, ever sold. And occasionally you can, maybe there's something special going on with your business. Sure, you can talk about it. But keep it to very, very minimal. Keep it very minimal. Every once in a while you want to interject something in there. Absolutely. Feel free. You did something new with your business. You took it to the next level. You can tell people about that. But the majority of your time, 80% or more of your time, should be focused in on giving away content to other people that they can use for value of their own. And that they can take away and feel good about it. Because then they're going to continue to come back. And if you can keep creating this content, then guess what? People are going to now start to search you out. They're going to tell their friends about you because you gave them something. You gave them that free glass of wine. And now they're telling their rich buddies over there, hey, listen, you should really go down to this winery. It was really delicious. It's the same type of thing. It's just digital. We have to think of it that way. It's just digital. It's the exact same thing that I've been talking about the whole time. And that's why I spent so much time talking about everything else before. Because if you can't change the mindset, the way you think about marketing in general, social media is going to be completely worthless. But social media now ties back into the way that you're communicating, whether it be through newspaper, flyer, print, whatever. You need to open up that dialogue, give something away to get something back. Do you know 10 years ago, it took 3 impressions of your company for people to do business with you? You had to see an advertisement or something of yours 3 times before they would call you, go to your shop, whatever it is. Now it's 14. It's just in 10 years. And everybody's yelling at them. You've seen these things, the web banners, they're yelling at you, they're flashing. Does anybody really click on those things? No.
Only the X to get out of your way.
Yeah, exactly. Like a YouTube. That's the one that drives you crazy, the little YouTube pop-up. That one's driving me nuts. I don't even know why they bother. I
pay the extra for the app so you can get it without the advertising. You pay a couple of bucks.
Oh, is that what they're doing now?
Yeah,
of course, I didn't even know that. Of course they're.
Free apps, you get it, and it's the same app. Well, for 99 cents or $1.99.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I know some of you have to get out of here, but thank you very much. I'm kind of wrapping up anyway. Yeah, exactly. Well, there you go. There's your case study. They're now charging you to not see advertising because everyone hates it. Everyone's bombarded with it all day. There's advertising in urinals, for God's sakes. Hello. I mean, look, I do advertising for a living, but there's a way to do it.
At least that's not stopping you from paying.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true. It's not a pop-up in front of it where you gotta find the X to then go to the bathroom. That would be awkward in a bar.
On the internet, like I'm halfway through writing an email,
yep.
And this pop-up came up. I didn't know because I'm looking at my keyboard, and
yep.
I'm like, well, where's all my email?
Yep.
Now I have to get that off the screen, and then I have to go.
Exactly. People are just teed off by advertising because it's in their face all day. So the stuff that's screaming at them isn't really screaming. It's actually the quietest advertising of them all. Everyone's doing it. So if you can give something of value, you can give something away, you give something that helps other people, they're going to want to do business with you. They're going to come for you. You don't have to go and search them out. So with that, I know we're running super over. Anyone have any questions they want to throw in real quick? Yes?
I'm wondering, how do you, obviously, if your advertising budget has, so to speak, changed, and you're looking to recruit somebody to do this because what I do best is not necessarily social media.
Right.
How do I compensate somebody for that? Like, you know, if I want somebody twittering for me,
yes.
How do I pay for that? Or, you know, where do I?
Well, I actually, believe it or not, what industry are you in?
Landscape design.
You're in landscape design. I guarantee that there's some folks that, because you got to think of it outside of just being landscape design. That part of your business is now social media and PR.
Well, like for example, I do have a younger employee with me who, quite honestly, I have to keep her from tweeting all day or Facebooking all day. So
yes.
I'm constantly, I
yes.
would love to position her somewhere else.
Yes.
And I know that I could compensate, but I feel like it's such new terrain, so I don't really know. Like, for example, I know how much I pay my accountant. I
right.
know how much an ad space runs in the paper. How do I know how much to put towards that in a way?
It's really, you got to look at the value of the person that you're hiring. That's it. It's just going to come down to the value of that person. You can get somebody that's right out of college or that's in college and maybe even wants to intern with you and just learn your business, and you say, look, because here's the greatest part of this stuff. The kids that are coming out of college, the kids that are in college, this is what they do all day.
Yeah.
They know this better than any of us, including myself. So now all you got to do is harness that energy and go, okay, this is how I want you to talk. I want you to give stuff away. I want you to research about my industry. Here's some things. Here's some relative blogs. And I just want to add real quick, I'll finish that in a second because I didn't want to forget it. But you also want to find other people's blogs that relate to your industry. And not only do you want to just repost them or comment on them, you can actually comment on their blogs. And you should use your real name or whatever it is, or your business name, however it is. And don't sell them and say, oh yeah, this is great, I do the same thing. Just say, oh, that's really great information. Give them something back on their blogs. Because now they're seeing you, other people are reading this stuff. It all comes back. You have to give, and eventually they'll all come to you. You're not going to take, it's just not going to work in social media. So to answer your question, yeah, it's just really the value of the person. You can get somebody that's directly out of college that may even say, listen, I want to work for you for free because I want to learn landscaping. And you say, well, look, here, half of your day I want you to do this. But you have to harness their power. They may not have the knowledge that you have. They're definitely not going to have the knowledge that you have about landscaping and how it works and grasses to grow here and this and that. But you can start to teach that person. You can say, listen, here is some of the information that I've learned. I want you to go through this. I want you to find these other blogs. They're going to find this stuff faster than you or I could ever find it. And they're going to say, I found 45 resources. They're like, my God, I just turned around. How did you do this? have them, but if you can teach them how to act on social media, they pretty much are doing it naturally.